The dawn of a new generation is here, a new civilization. It all began in the mountains and valleys of our plains, where the first of our kind was born by Mother Nature, the cradle of humankind. Ever since then, our species have thrived. We've learned how to speak, write, fly, and create new worlds. Our journey of civilization has taken us to many lands, beyond waters and far into the depth of space. Today, the force of evolution has taken us to the new path. Are we ready to take this leap? To go on this journey, we must return to our origins. As we enter a new epoch for our species, we must understand that the origin of mankind is literally its future. We are leading humanity to this next phase. This is an invitation to begin the journey of the next level of our technological progress, from where our civilization began. Introducing GEN4IR, accelerating our singularity future for development in Africa.
TEF's Global Summit for 2022 will be held at the beautiful Sun City Resort in the Northwest Province of South Africa. It brings together delegates and speakers from various parts of the world who will come and share their experience and expertise and help to come up with collaborative solutions between academia, private and public institutions.
Now, at this summit, first, you will learn about the exponential technologies in communications and information, robotics, artificial intelligence, nanotech, and much more that are going to allow entrepreneurs and reformers in Africa to transform their economies, their institutions, and their whole societies. Second, you are going to be able to meet and talk with those reformers, the intellectuals, and the entrepreneurs who are going to create this transformation. And third, you can be part of the transformation yourself at this conference. You will be engaged. You will see what the future of Africa can be and should be if we unleash the creative intelligence and power of South Africans and people in all African countries.
We have to move along with the moving times. And if you're really concerned about the future of humanity and what we can do in order to change it or make it better for ourselves and for the coming generation, you have to be there. I'll be there 23rd and 24th of March 2022, Sun City, South Africa.
I'm glad that no matter what, we can organize this special event in Sun City, and hope to see you soon, guys. Please check our website, our social media. We are working for you day by day to get together the prominent names all around the world, from biotech, longevity industry, eVTOL, flying car market, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence as well.
Futurists, transhumanists, singularitarians, longevity scientists, industry pioneers will converge to produce ideas that will inspire projects that will drive the fourth industrial revolution. TAVS is a gateway in and out of Africa. We have been connecting governments, companies, organizations, policymakers and entrepreneurs to come together to think, create and build the future of our species. This summit is a futurecast. It features everything from education, blockchain solutions, smart cities, medicine, life extension, amongst many others. Become part of the minds that will fashion the next generation of the fourth industrial revolution. It begins here. Welcome to Sun City. Hello and welcome to another edition of our Project Solutions podcast. We are still in the series that we're bringing you the speakers that are going to be gracing the GEN4IR summit that will be happening in South Africa, Rustenburg, South Africa, next month, from 24th to 25th. It promises to be an occasion of great events where we will have futurists, singletarians, entrepreneurs, policymakers, great minds from all walks of life converging in Sun City and bringing up with ideas that are going to not only transform the way we do things in Africa, but will help us to get to the next level of our evolution, to get to the next level of the progress of humanity. At House, our work is to build the great way in and out of Africa and to bring those kind of minds that are doing extraordinary work in the different areas of life so that they can pull resources together, pull their minds together so that we can create this project and then make this work for us. So it's with great pleasure that I would like to introduce you today, bring to you today Kevin Allen. Kevin Allen is the Chief Community Officer at OpenExo. He's focused on unlocking positive human potential. And OpenExo is a professional services company focused on innovation and digital transformation with the purpose of transforming the world for a better future and building a global transformation ecosystem, hoping to unlock abundance to change the world. So it's a great pleasure that I'd like to welcome you, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Hugo. Really, really good to be here. Yeah, coming in from a fairly warm Cape Town today.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's really great to have you on board. We've had a chat before. The time we did the magazine, we honored you for give your magazine. Yeah. So I remember every inch of what we said there. I loved your spirit then. It was very passionate spirit that you use, and it's very infectious. Like I got infected by that kind of positive spirits and the energy, and I'm sure that's what you're bringing, in South Africa in the summit next month. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation, and I want the people to have a sense of what you're going to be sharing with us. Give us a glimpse into what you're going to be sharing with us at the summit next month.
Absolutely, happy to do that. And so what I'm going to be sharing is all very much linked to the exponential organizations model. And you might not have heard of that model before. If you've read the book Exponential Organizations, you would have. And the EXO model is a model that was developed, as I said, in the book Exponential Organizations, where they looked at many organizations and said, what are they doing differently? How are they leveraging all these exponential technologies, whether it's AI or robotics or cloud computing, etc. And they found that there were these 11 attributes that organizations did differently. One, which is really important, which is called the massive transformative purpose. And that's the only thing I'm going to speak about a little bit today, because if you want to learn more, you actually need to come to Sun City, right? But a massive transformative purpose needs to be at the center of every organization. And that is the organization's North Star, the vision, what they want to do. For example, at OpenExo, ours is to transform the world for a better future. We're extremely concerned about the world. We are very, we have a global community of about 17,000 people, and we are very optimistic, but very concerned in that we see that the world has the opportunity to go on two paths. One is an amazing path, and that's a path which we call the Star Trek path. That's where we leverage technologies for all, where we transform the world to make things available to all humanity and our planet, and make things better. Or there's the Mad Max path. And the Mad Max path takes us down a path where everyone is for themselves. People use technology for self-enrichment only. And ultimately, there's breakdown in the way our world functions. And Salim Ismail, who's the author of Exponential Organizations and our chairman at OpenExo, often speaks about the fact that if you look at history, civilizations have reached a boundary condition. Whether you look at the Ottoman Empire, the Ming Dynasty, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Romans, the Mongols, so many different empires over time, or the empires of Timbuktu, right? Reached this massive, really were doing extremely well, and then hit a boundary condition and collapsed. And where we sit in society today as a global civilization, which, I'm not going to get political here. It's not a good time to get political, but ultimately we're at this condition now where we either could go into years of dark ages, or we can use our technologies, use massive transformative purpose, and actually move into a world that is so much better. And being a South African, and extremely blessed to have found myself in a situation that I'm in, I guess through a lot of hard work too. And if you want to know a bit more about my story, you can watch that show we did, as you said, Ugo, at the beginning, where I spoke a little bit about my background as well. But ultimately, the African continent has so much potential. Many countries, most countries have extremely young populations. Access to technology and the internet, though, that's something that I'm really hoping to speak to many people who are going to be there, at Sun City. Speak to leaders in different technology sectors. I'm a big advocate for the fact that the internet should be a human right, and I've had a lot of interesting discussions with people, where people say people don't have access to clean water, healthcare, and food. We should be focusing on that first. I tend to disagree and say that the internet gives you access to information, and information gives you access to everything. And if we can have access to to the internet, that can give people the ability to, for example, be in a city in Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, Senegal, yet perhaps work for people in Malaysia, Europe, America, but without the access to the internet, that's not possible. And so I'm looking forward to delving a little bit into the EXO model, what it means, what the different attributes are, and then what it means as a leader, as an individual. How do you tap in to that exponential thinking so that we can then essentially tap into abundance? Because we actually have an abundance, for example, of energy hitting our earth in the form of the sun every day, yet not all of us are harnessing that abundance as we could, right? We have an abundance of water on this planet, but most of it contains too much salt for us to drink or to water crops, for example. Yet these are just technological problems that we can solve as society, and it takes exponential thinking and exponential leadership to do that. And I want to show those people who are going to be there, especially people who are from the African continent, that we are those exponential thinkers.
It's very interesting that you talk about the two different kind of futures that are actually possible, and that brings to question the importance of intentionality, bringing intentionality when you are forecasting the future and when you want to create the future. A futurist is, as I define it, is someone that has a vision for the future and a strategic plan to get us there. So, which means there is intentionality that actually comes into that. The future does not create itself, and progress is not automatic. It has to be intentional. Now, and it's very interesting that you're talking about it, because part of the projects that TAFS is setting up in South Africa is this curriculum that is called Futures Studies. So we're looking at, it's called Future Studies. So we're looking at the different possibilities of the different futures that humanity could face, and how we can intentionally craft the one that is most favorable and beneficial to us. And I also invite you, because the work you're doing at OpenExo is quite extraordinary. I invite you to also kind of contribute into that, because you talk about exponential thinking. If you look at it from outside, someone can look at it and say, but well, what is exponential thinking? But if you understand how organizations and the people at the top 1% actually leverage this kind of thinking and use it to create the kind of abundance that we're seeing in our world today, it is actually a skill, a cognitive skill that I think is very important that people learn. And it's something that I think if we started in school, if we start in school and start teaching these skills, these cognitive skills, it will empower the students and the young people who are going to be creating this future that we're talking about. So it's called Generation Fourth Industrial Revolution. So the generation that is going to be taking the fourth industrial revolution is about leadership, and that there is no person or no organization that I think that is best positioned to talk about leading the fourth industrial revolution with the right kind of mindset than OpenExo and the kind of work you're doing. So talk to us about a bit more about the importance of this exponential thinking and why you think it is key to building this fourth industrial revolution that we're entering. Yeah.
Perfect. So first of all, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here and say I don't believe we're going into a fourth industrial revolution. It's not industrial and it's not a fourth. This is a first digital revolution or a first transhumanist revolution. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not industrial. And it's going to be like nothing we've seen before. I'm sure you know Ray Kurzweil, and he has said that he believes that the next 100 years is going to be like 10,000 or 100,000 years worth of improvement, right?
Progress accelerates exponentially.
Correct, and that's exponential, right? Is the fact that technologies are the acceleration is even accelerating. And so what is so important is for us to be able to convey that to people whose day-to-day lives seem quite linear. If you think about your day-to-day life, when you wake up today, it seems very similar to yesterday.
Yes.
Now, if you think about it though, and I've had this conversation with my father, and he says, I grew up at a time that when I was born, we didn't have our own telephone. We had this telephone line that was like a party line, and then that moved to proper telephones, and then fax machines and mobile phones and the internet. And so he has actually seen a tremendous shift, right? But if you speak to a Gen Z, their whole life has always had cell phones, the internet. So they don't necessarily see like the massive shift that we've had, that curve. And so it's so important for us to be able to let people know that, because what we have found through a lot of work especially with many different organizations, is that generally the resistance to change that people speak about is what we term an organizational immune system. Your immune system in your body is there so that you are going to ensure that when something comes into your body that looks different, that your body gets rid of that, stops that. But you can also have autoimmune diseases where your body recognizes your own helpful proteins as a disease, as an example. And we see, within organizations, disruptive innovation is like that. Many organizations need to change dramatically. If you look at many of our institutions, the way we run democracies, for example, it's based on the speed of a horse. All of our democracy is based on 18th century thinking. We don't really need representative democracy. We could have, democracy that uses smart technology and allows every citizen to vote. But we don't have that because we have an immune response. Maybe people in power who don't want this. So there's a lot that we need to do to change the world, right? Whilst we have used the current models, the way capitalism functions, etc., to drive humanity forward, we do have to say that humanity has been driven forward, but it hasn't been driven forward equally, and it's been driven forward in a way that has caused quite a lot of disparity. The fact that 85 people on our planet have more wealth than 3 billion people doesn't make sense for a global humanity that we should be. And so we need a shift in the way we do things. And that shift starts with, it doesn't start with organizations. It actually starts with people. It starts with leaders. And so we need to be showing people what it means to have that exponential mindset. And, in my life, as I said, I've been very blessed and lucky to have had the opportunity to meet multiple people, travel to many countries, and I try and meet local people when I travel, and I have just seen how so many people create their own sort of glass ceiling a lot of the time, and so I'm very passionate about the fact that we can show people that there is a way for you to leverage exponential, to leverage these technologies, and not to sort of fear the change, because and people don't really fear change; they more fear loss because they don't understand. So many people are like, I don't know what this future looks like, and therefore I would rather stay with what I know, which is not what we need. We need people to be boldly going forward into that unknown with the right tools.
Yeah, it's very interesting because talking about change, it's the thing that is really scary about change is that it happens like you said, because of the loss, the feeling of loss that we think that we might encounter, because maybe many times in the past when things change, there's some kind of wealth transfer, there's losses of resources, and there's a lot of things that changes, and we don't want to change because we want to stay in our comfort zone. And but the fact is that with the level of exponential technologies that we have in place, and emerging and convergent technologies that is ravaging and upending our world today, that change is actually happening at a much faster rate than our thinking happens. Like you rightly pointed out, our thinking is linear, but the technology is exponential. And this is something, even on a personal level, that I'm quite passionate about, because my fourth book I'm working on actually focuses on this: how do we upgrade human intelligence to get to the point that we are ready for the case of artificial general intelligence. You get to the point whereby another being, a separate entity, becomes much faster in information processing, and can potentially have a different goal. If we don't know how to manage our social media, if we don't know how to focus our attention and use the technologies that we have today, if we don't know how to manage our social media and how to avoid nuclear war, how can we be able to work side by side with an artificial general intelligence? It's probably gonna take us out of the way. So it is this kind of thinking
yes
that we need. Yeah, that we really need, and it's great that we have people like you that are bringing this in, and that's why we are bringing you in to see this, to introduce this into your organizations, to introduce this into schools, to make it mainstream, so that as the mindset grows, we evolve together as a species.
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. And I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to also the conversations that happen on the side, and those are also super important, right? So that's why it's important for people, I guess, to be there, because the fact that you can get multiple minds together, that's where amazing things happen. So really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome, and thanks so much for the invite.
Yeah, it's great. So guys, you've heard it. This is Kevin Allen, I must say his energy is infectious, is magnetic, and it's extraordinary. It can drive you up to the sky and actually change the way that you see the world. And he has not even displayed that. He didn't actually display his energy here.
Today
Like,
was
I've
quite
seen him at
muted.
his best. I've seen him at his best, and I assure you, you're going to see him at another level at the summit, and it's going to be really extraordinary. So I enjoin you to please head on to GEN4IR.org and register, get a ticket for yourself, and get a ticket for your friends, your company, your colleagues, and company members, and all of that. And if you're not going to be able to attend in person, then get a ticket for others and see how you can sponsor and bring this together, because this is the kind of creative gathering that we need. Is we are going to take our species to the next level of its evolution. And as we say, the origin of humanity is literally its future. Africa has the youngest population on the planet today, and that is a huge resource of human capital that can be harnessed. And with the kind of thinking that the likes of Kevin Allen and OpenExo is bringing to the table, we can empower young minds that will not only transform today, but to build a better future that the next generation will happily look back on and say thanks to us. So I look forward to that, and I also look forward to seeing you, Kevin Allen. So guys, register, and we'll see you guys next month.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so great. Yeah, thank you. The dawn of a new generation is here, a new civilization. It all began in the mountains and valleys of our plains, where the first of our kind was born by Mother Nature, the cradle of humankind. Ever since then, our species have thrived. We've learned how to speak, write, fly, and create new worlds. Our journey of civilization has taken us to many lands, beyond waters and far into the depth of space. Today, the force of evolution has taken us to the new path. Are we ready to take this leap? To go on this journey, we must return to our origins. As we enter a new epoch for our species, we must understand that the origin of mankind is literally its future. We are leading humanity to this next phase. This is an invitation to begin the journey of the next level of our technological progress, from where our civilization began. Introducing GEN4IR, accelerating our singularity future for development in Africa.
TAF's Global Summit for 2022 will be held at the beautiful Sun City Resort in the Northwest Province of South Africa. It brings together delegates and speakers from various parts of the world who will come and share their experience and expertise and help to come up with collaborative solutions between academia, private and public institutions.
Now, at this summit, first, you will learn about the exponential technologies in communications and information, robotics, artificial intelligence, nanotech, and much more that are going to allow entrepreneurs and reformers in Africa to transform their economies, their institutions, and their whole societies. Second, you are going to be able to meet and talk with those reformers, the intellectuals, and the entrepreneurs who are going to create this transformation. And third, you can be part of the transformation yourself at this conference. You will be engaged. You will see what the future of Africa can be and should be if we unleash the creative intelligence and power of South Africans and people in all African countries.
We have to move along with the moving times. And if you're really concerned about the future of humanity and what we can do in order to change it or make it better for ourselves and for the coming generation, you have to be there. I'll be there 23rd and 24th of March 2022, Sun City, South Africa.
I'm glad that Belgrade Award we can organize this special event in Sun City, and hope to see you soon, guys. Please check our website, our social media. We are working for you day by day to get together the prominent names all around the world, from biotech, longevity industry, eVTOL, flying car market, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence as well.
Futurists, transhumanists, singularitarians, longevity scientists, industry pioneers will converge to produce ideas that will inspire projects that will drive the fourth industrial revolution. TAVS is a gateway in and out of Africa. We have been connecting governments, companies, organizations, policymakers and entrepreneurs to come together to think, create and build the future of our species. This summit is a futurecast. It features everything from education, blockchain solutions, smart cities, medicine, life extension, amongst many others. Become part of the minds that will fashion the next generation of the fourth industrial revolution. It begins here. Welcome to Sun City.